Alrighty traders, George here. Time for a look at the trades of the week, some live room performance from last week, as well as some new trade setups. Let's get right into it. For starters, let's check out day trade action. In the live room, using the DSR model, did just over $1,600 after commission, win percentage at about 52%, so it came up a bit from that prior week. Red ink on Tuesday did some real nice gains on Wednesday and then walked away with a little bit more in the money there on Thursday. All in all, this is just over about 7 hours trading, and all off of the DSR model lower left that you see here for these particular markets. And a very short amount of time in the market for just 3 mornings there doing that kind of performance, all 100% visually derived trading off of these charts. For the trades of the week from the balance beam trade setups that you saw, let's talk about the gold setup, which needed price to do this, or the Nasdaq setup, which needed price to do this. A couple different trade scenarios there. Gold setup along here. It actually went perfectly to target 3. I'm only recording it to target 1 to default to the single contract trader there. And the same trade setup a couple days later, easily hitting that target 1. That pulls in $18.40, which translates to $1,840 per contract. 2 for 2 there on those trade setups. 2 for 2 here as well on the Nasdaq. The first trade needed price to break down quite a bit and then trade up. That triggered at 41.80 and easily hit a 40 point range there, only booking that to the second target as well. And for the second trade setup, getting long at 55s and easily hitting that first target there for another 29 points. It's 69.5 points there for the Nasdaq. That's 1,390 per contract. You heard right, 69 points there, 2 for 2. That's what the balance beam model allows us to do, is it allows us to find these relatively low risk but high reward potential trade setups. And they're the type of trade setups that most people think are really impossible to happen because of the price action needed to hit the targets. But you've seen them ongoing here for over 6 months as I've been doing this video series on them. That's what happened for the Nasdaq. So 4 for 4 on the balance beam trades, a good week in the live room. I've got a couple of new setups to show you here on the balance beam, and let me zip right over to it. For starters, we'll look at gold. This is similar to what we were looking at last week. It needs to do some action here to set up. Initially, longs at 40.10 with these upside targets. If we get as high as 1300, we'll look to be short at 12.89s if it rolls over with these targets in front of it. We'll look to get long at 12.15.10 if it prints 12.10, so it needs to sell off a fair bit here and rally up to get long with 9.18 and 36s. Think about 1 re-entry per day here. Stops go +2 on +3 from an initial stop loss of 6 here, going to a 6 point stop loss, and no entries 1600 to 1 Eastern time there. All right, here's the deal with the Nasdaq. We'll look to get long at 42.47s with these upside targets here. We'll look to get short at 42.39 after a print of 42.50 with these targets. We'll look to get long at 41.90 if we sell off and then trade back up. And if it rallies much further up than where we are, we'll look to get short at 43.28 after 44.40. Okay, 20, 40, 60, that's less likely. But these are the ones that are nearer to price and more likely to set up sooner. 1 re-entry in each of the 4 setups, trail +5 on 10s from ISL of 15, no entries 1600 to 1. Those are the 2 new markets to look at this week going forward on the balance beam. Before I forget, I wanted to make mention earlier on these 2 losses here for oil. These were actually $300 losers here, both of them. That pulls a couple $100 off of what I had shown in the earlier video. It should be 35.20s there. Use the link at the bottom of the video. Hop in the live room. You can watch me do some day trading and more big picture analysis like this. And until then, we'll see you back in the live room.